Hello, happy people out there. It is Friday today, and we are with yet another edition of the Legacy Changemaker broadcast. I hope you're here with us because we have something really special. We have somebody actually who is really special. And his name is Neil Daas. And Neil Daas wears multiple hats. Hello, Neil.
Hello, how are you doing? Great to be here.
Yes, same here. I'm really happy to have you on the show today. And just to continue presenting you a little bit, Neil Daas is a neuroscientist, right? And
Correct.
he's also a teacher by nature and a rebel at heart.
Correct. Yes, that's my one-liner. Correct.
Yes. And today we will be talking about something very summary, and actually, not only summary. The topic of today's chat is sharing happiness along the way.
Exactly.
And this is because you, Niels, are on a trip now, right?
That is very much correct. Yeah, thank you so much for this warm introduction, and again for having me. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm currently on a trip. Actually, right now I just arrived in home base Switzerland of the house of my partner. But for the last year, we've been traveling in a bright yellow van, old Mercedes, across the coast of Europe, and working, and it has been amazing. And yeah, sharing happiness along the way, as the title said.
So, as you know, we are here to celebrate people who are bringing about change.
Mm.
And this change is not just any change, it's change that contributes to a more peaceful, hopeful, prosperous, and people and planet centered world. So, what is the change you're bringing about?
Yeah, it's a good question. And as I shared before, also the terminology of change maker, of bringing change, it always triggers a bit of a semantic discussion inside of me. Like, what does it really mean? What does it mean to be a change maker? And it sounds so big for me. And that is what I want to point out for me is to start really small. I think it's amazing that we all want to change the world for the better, and have big, bright ideas. But I also found myself in a position where me, as quite privileged white male, could easily say, "Hey, there's a side of the world that isn't doing so well. I have everything, and I know everything, and I'm smart, and I can do it." And I quickly came to realize that it doesn't really work like that. It doesn't really help as well. It can actually do damage. Whereas I now make it really small, and to realize, whatever path you take, whatever you do, whether it's a corporate career, starting your own startup, or be a mom and dad, most important for me is to share happiness, compassion, kindness, and support along the way. Build each other up along whichever path you do it, instead of bringing each other down. I guess that's for me where it all comes down to. Yeah.
Lovely. So, build each other up. I know that you have been working with multiple leaders, you have been working with multiple industries and with multiple teams, and you have been trying and successfully actually bringing compassion into their work lives. Can you tell us a little bit more about the part of compassion, especially given the fact that if we look into the Latin origin of the word, we understand that it means sitting with the pain, being
I
with the
love that.
pain.
I love that so much. And you know what? I didn't know that actually. So you taught me something new today, and that makes complete sense. And that is what compassion is all about. And if we take in a different term as well, empathy. Empathy is really feeling someone else, its pain, and being able to emphasize with it, read into it, which some, as a psychologist, some spectrum has more trouble with that. But compassion is on a different level. You do feel the pain, you need to understand the pain, but you can also actually be with the pain. And a practice I recently came to touch with is the one of bodhicitta, and that is a Buddhism way of heart practice. That is where
Mhm.
you open the heart as your living room, and you expand it instead of closing off when pain comes near. which is the path to enlightenment. Pema Chodron writes beautiful books about it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Can you share the name again, because I didn't get it?
Yeah, bodhicitta.
Bodhicitta.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Okay, and this means opening your heart like your living room and inviting people in.
Exactly. And also your own demons. So we all have
Mhm.
our own demons, our own pain, everything is there. And our natural response is to close off when there's pain because we want to protect ourselves from it. And although this is a habit that serves us until a certain point, it also closes us off to through joy or through connection or through healing. We all been through trauma without making it all too. I know it's there's a hard scientific side to working with trauma, right? So it's not only the fly, spiritual, yoga type. There's real pain that everyone goes through, and to have the natural response of closing up, what you see is that the trauma never lifts, and being able to open up, you can also not only heal yourself but heal others around you. If you can hold space for others with active listening or active being, it's extremely healing, and I think the best place to be. If you feel with someone where you have total acceptance of who you are, whatever state you are, you find the rest there that you can't find elsewhere.
This sounds great. Can you share with us a little bit of insights on how do you actually sit with that pain
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
with your own demons? Are you
Yeah,
not afraid that if you invite them in, they'll never leave?
that is exactly what you do. That is exactly what you do. You invite them to never leave. So what you do, that it's the practice of Tonglen. It's called, and it's basically breathing. So you breathe in the pain, your pain, other people's pain, and you breathe out light, coolness, relief, which starts at yourself. You wish yourself relief or be free of suffering, and then you extend it to the rest of the world. It's the other way around of what we normally do, I guess, what people sometimes like to do with meditation, and that is to just find calm and peace and clear their mind. But that's not really what meditation is all about, and especially not the Chitta practice. It's taking in that pain and learning to, yeah, create more space for it instead of running for it. So how do you do it? Is it starts very simple. You sit down, you sit down, you breathe in through your nose, and you fill yourself up, and you focus on the feeling that you feel. You let it be there, you accept it, and then you breathe out. And you feel the air flowing, and you feel relief going, and but you not hold on to that relief. That's the part of sharing. That's the beauty of it. It's also sharing happiness. You share the relief with anyone else. And then you go in again, like bringing in the pain. And then you sigh out relief. And how you do it is practice, and it's a lifelong practice, and um, it's it's in the moments where it's most difficult, it's where it's most needed, and there's the strongest practice. So you have also another practice, and that's called the oh, I lost the name, but those are certain wisdom statements.
Mm-hmm.
And once there is shares, meditate on whatever causes resentment, which means whenever you feel resentment or negative emotion between quotation marks, then you just immediately meditate on that wherever you are. You don't have to sit down. If you want, you can, but breathe it in, let it be aware of it. What do I feel? Accept it, and let it go. Yeah. This is not to say to beat yourself with a stick of more sadistically taking in pain, like, oh, I love the pain. Yeah, maybe it's also fine. I mean, if you do Navy SEALs training or whatever and it works for you, it's also fine. But it is to find a certain friendliness with the pain that is there, and leave it be. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that while you were kind of leading me through breathing in, identifying the feeling, and letting it out, I really felt the relief. I felt like, oh, this helped me. But what really surprised me was this part of sharing, sending it out to others, and really offering it to the world instead of being focused on my own pain with my own relief and ending it there.
Exactly, and that is all what the practice is about, and that's why I find it so beautiful. It's level one to accept it and understand it for yourself, but the next level is to give it all away. And the first part is to, well, you actually use that pain to connect with all those people who feel the same. You're like,
Mhm.
oh, I feel so bad right now. I didn't get the job that I wanted. I hit another car. I lost my money. I am just woke up anxious. I don't know. And you use that to not feel alone and isolated and helpless, but you use it to feel connected with everyone that has that same feeling in the world. Of all those 7 billion people, there's definitely someone else who feels like you, and then you have the opportunity to send relief to that person and also yourself. And that's, for me, that's beautiful.
Yes, I think so too. It's really beautiful. And what has been the most difficult part for you in this practice?
In this practice itself, yeah, that is when you reach your, let's say, your comfort zone, or the stretch of the discomfort into panic of how much space you can give. I mean, it's not a practice where you throw your room wide open and let everyone in immediately, because of course you get a stress response, and you need to train as a bodhicitta warrior to be able to do that, and that takes time. So even, for example, in when we live in the van and we're very close to each other, and our energies, also clash, and that can become a bit of a hectic dynamic sometimes. And when you cannot really flee from where you are, and you really try to open the space in your heart, it's, yeah, it definitely stretches the limits of what sometimes is pleasant, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and then you break out of it and get angry and whatever. I mean, we're not perfect. Yeah,
this is this is such a great segue to actually the title of what we're discussing, sharing happiness along the way. And I really think it's so interesting for me to understand that sharing happiness starts with accepting your own pain and offering relief to each and every one in order to be able to share your positive emotions too.
exactly, exactly. I've not always been a very happy kid. I had a kind of a troubled upbringing. I was very much into trouble with myself, not fitting into the system and educational system. But once I always been friendly, but once I connected more and more to myself, I also came to realize, if I am positive and show happiness, not as a pleasing mode, but just truly generating positivity, I, one, get into contact with people better, and others also get a more positive emotion, and that it's kind of a positive spiral. So ever since, yeah, that is my mode of going. And I know, well, when I say that, there's always an offside to that, where you have the need to always be positive, and sometimes respond too extreme when someone is not positive because it doesn't fit in your worldview. But I think it's the way to go to, you need to find acceptance in yourself, and when you cannot, still try to share happiness. It always generates happiness in yourself. Always, if you can make someone else happy, you will feel happy too. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Now, we've kind of covered a little bit your Buddhist part and your engagement with Buddhism, but you also have a master's in neuroscience and clinical psychology. So, how do you bring that in? And do you have to actually?
Yeah. No. You know what? I guess I'm a lifelong learner. So I also recently got accepted into an MBA, because I wanted to know more about the business side, and I just love learning in general, and I love creativity of combining different knots and getting new insights through that. Neuroscience, I guess, I did that because it was it. Okay, I need to go one step back. I guess I started psychology because I loved to understand puzzle more of why humans do what they do. And then I was inspired by one of my lecturers, Erik Scherder, an incredibly positive lecturer, incredibly talented teacher as well, to be a neuroscientist. That is the connection between brain and behavior, which is that person is mainly working when someone has traumatic brain injury, and you do a certain diagnosis and assessment and plan out a progress or a recovery plan, and then you coach the person there. And I thought that's super dope. And it was also the most difficult thing to do. So I thought, I like a challenge, so let's do this. And I'm happy that I did it. And but the result in the end is that the work itself I really didn't like as a neuropsychologist. To work in a hospital and everything, it was not my place to be. I'm way too energetic, and have too many new ideas and ways of being, and ask too many questions. So it didn't really work. And also, I couldn't work with the people anymore. I work with people with dementia and Alzheimer's, and things I had to just tell them that they had a certain illness that they didn't want to hear. They also didn't want to be with me. And I couldn't help them afterwards. It's just it's not the place that works with me and who I am. But what it does bring is a deeper understanding of how humans work, and also the master's neuroscience just works also well to open doors. People find it very interesting how the brain works, and it is. And I can use that to create collaborations, which I love, because again, you grow through the growth of others. So why not use my background to add that knowledge to other projects that I care about? Yeah. So that was that's the neuroscience back part. But I didn't. Yeah, I worked in hospital for a bit, but then I just quitted it, and I helped to build an educational startup during my master's, which was for exam traders for students, and there I was really heavily involved in training leaders and managers and training and scaling a company to quite a big size. So there I rolled more into the leadership and team development, which I still do.
And how did it work?
The company there, yeah. So it was basically super simple. So especially in Holland, but I guess in every kind of Western country right now, you gotta have the best grades. And tutoring is big business because they can help you get better grades, better positions. And on the other side, there are some studies where some courses are way more difficult than others. And for example, within psychology, statistics is a hell for a lot of students. They don't come there to do statistics, they come there to help people. So yeah, they don't mind paying extra for getting a course to pass your exam. And I myself didn't understand statistics, and I was actually helped by the company which I helped build up as well. So I thought this is amazing, and I'm angry at the university because they really don't try to help students here. What the hell? Why don't you? You're a teacher. Just go teach, right? So then I just thought I'd do it myself. I just teach all these students. It was amazing. It was amazing to do. Everyone in the study knows you, and you see so many people getting helped. And I'm still proud of that. And also on more business size, we scaled it to a really big amount of revenue. And also I trained over 150 managers. I trained over 1,500 tutors, which I all oversaw. And that is, I was 25, I guess, back then. So you're pretty young to lead such a big organization. But politically speaking, there was a lot of backlash against our organization and also others, because it also didn't realize that, but created more inequality between rich students and poor students, because not everyone can afford extra help. Now, to be honest, I gave also a lot of free classes because I wanted to help everyone. So I also provided always free help through Facebook or other means. But in the end, the whole system of grades and just overperforming and overstretching and kicking people into burnout, I think we're a symptom of a broken system in that sense. It worked well, but yeah, I'm not too happy with how it's I'm not too happy with it, but I'm still proud of what I did, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed in your LinkedIn profile that you are a member of the Sigma Squared Society, which actually celebrates ambitious founders under 26. Is this why you were invited to join the Sigma Squared Society?
No, actually not. No. And I love Sigma Squared, which was previously the Kairos Society. There's such a bunch of warm passionate and smart entrepreneurs. It was really amazing. And why I actually came in touch with them was through a different startup I built, which was the Think Tank United, where we brought together Amsterdam's or Holland's brightest minds from various backgrounds. You know, dating coach with an astrophysicist, with a neuropsychologist, with whatever. We just let them be with each other, and the most beautiful and creative conversations would start, or we would do it to do business sprints to within 3 hours would provide a solution to whatever questions there was, because we had all these bright minds, certain ways of facilitating that. Then we came in touch with the president of the Kairos chapter in Holland, and they needed help with setting up think tanks for their European conference to solve Europe's biggest problems, which were to be solved through these think tanks. And we thought, yeah, dope, let's do it. And the first one is in Barcelona, and it was just an instant hit. I really loved it. And the year afterwards, I led a team of facilitators and trained them, and it was in Venice. And I don't know, I just was so aligned with all these people that they kind of adopted me. So I didn't went through the official procedure. So I hope they don't kick me out after I share this openly.
I'm sure
But
not.
no, I'm below some startup. So in that sense, that is fine. And I just help them with other things. So facilitating their leaders as well, or just making a lot of friends there. And I guess that's beautiful. Yeah.
Now, you also include virtual reality in the work you do. How are you bringing those three things together? Neuroscience,
The
Buddhism,
newest
and
thing.
virtual reality.
Yeah, the newest thing. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, we spoke about the gig economy, right? So this is a new project. I love different projects. So one of them I'm currently working on indeed is using virtual reality to develop teams and leaders. And the company I work with, Vestigo, they build digital adventures into virtual reality. So the founder, Marshall Mosher, epic guy. He does all these kinds of extreme sports and has a big network of extreme high level athletes. And his vision is to, well, whatever you can envision, or being a F1 pilot fighter, or in a parachuting, or extreme rafting, or whatever, get it in virtual reality and experience that, and get into a level of discomfort as a leader, as a team, and then translate that to the daily work that you do, and opening up the conversation with the team to work through these different topics. Especially also from the brain side, what we know is if you put people into discomfort, but it still has a level of playfulness and control and everything, it opens up the conversation a bit easier. We feel a bit more playful. A different nervous system also actually gets activated afterwards. It's fun to do that with a team, and also there's a reason why people, if they need to discuss difficult topics, they go into nature often, or they go a weekend away or whatever for a workshop, right? But the beauty with virtual reality is that you can just put on your virtual headset and you are in any environment that you want to be with your avatar, where you can walk around and you can do games there, and you can go as crazy as you want. I mean, I think for a lot of companies, it's still a bridge too far. It's very new, it's very early adapter, but you can bring in everything that you know in a virtual world. So you can be in nature, but with everything that you normally know. But if you really want to go to the next level, you can bring in everything that you don't know in a world that you don't know, right? You can push it as far as you want. But so last week we had the launch of our Everest experience, which we made a one-on-one replica of Everest Base Camp. There you come with your team or your company, with it doesn't matter how many people, in these mountains. You have snow and everything. There's also snowballs to throw around, which is fun. Speaker stage, and there you have a speaker who just came from Everest, and he speaks about his environment and his leadership and team learnings and brings it all together, which is super inspiring. Then you come into a portal and you go into the Khumbu Icefall experience. And Khumbu Icefall is the first obstacle you will do when you climb Mount Everest, which is an ever moving ice waterfall with continuously opening crevasses of ice. And Sherpas have to prepare it normally. They have to put these iron ladders on top of it, 1, 2, 3 attached sometimes. Super sketchy, most dangerous thing. And that's what you're going to do with the team. So you're going to walk over these ladders into these ice cliffs to push them to a point of fear. Incredible. And it's, I got to be honest, it's so much fun to do virtual reality as well, but it's also so random. I mean, the world of working is so brilliant that, I was in my van stealing.
Sorry. Did you say ruined?
Ruined? No, it's so much fun. Random. It's
Oh,
so
random. Okay, because I heard the world of working is so ruined.
Yeah, no, it is. No, for me, yeah, it is. It was ruined, and I hope it opens up through a gig economy, where you have the complete freedom to just do what you're good at for the amount of hours you can do it, and there you earn your money with.
So the gig economy, to kind of summarize a bit, is doing gigs in
exactly.
parallel and making living with gigs.
Exactly, and it's really skill-based working. It's really where where you can add value, that value is worth money, and that's where you do the work. It's very effective. You don't result into the 9 to 5 busy work, like, okay, let me just check my computer again because for whatever reason it's important or something. Just work effectively. You just want to do what is needed. You own your time, you earn your money with it, and well, that's also how our brains work. Autonomy is the most important motivator in life.
Really?
It is, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so happy I learned this today. Thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I guess one book that is, or at least the model is interesting from Daniel Pink, which is Drive. So it speaks about 3 different components of internal motivation, which is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And autonomy we see is one of the most important ones. It's your freedom to think your own thoughts, do your own behavior, and make your own choices. It's all around that. Lock someone up and take someone's choice away, and you get helplessness. And that's, for example, what you see in people that are depressed. That's learned helplessness, and they don't move anymore. They don't get out of bed. So that's kind of the effect that you also see in, I guess, corporates or people where they don't love working and they go on retirement, mental retirement, when they're 40. Yeah, that's what happens when you take the autonomy away.
Thank you so much for clarifying this. Now, I have promised our audience to be able to walk away with some useful tips and tricks on how they too can share happiness along the way. So, would you mind talking briefly about that, please?
Yeah, I guess the easiest one is just to smile. Smile at the world around you. Wave at a random person. Random act of kindness. I love that one. I think a known one is to pay someone else's coffee without them knowing, but just a random act of kindness can be anything. Look it up. But especially just smiling at each other, and not making it weird for yourself. That is for me the easiest way to sharing happiness.
What does
One,
it mean? What does it mean not making it weird for yourself? What do you mean?
yeah, when I say that, what I have in my head is, again, I'm in a privileged position where I'm a guy, and I understand also for our sisters, is that a smile can be maybe misinterpreted, but that so smiling is not necessarily for everyone the best. Maybe you don't want to smile at everyone, so um, it's one step for myself, which I share. You don't have to smile at everyone. I mean, right? So it's just, if I can bring a smile to someone's face every day, I sparked a bit of happiness in a lot of people throughout my life, and that's a bit of the way. That's more the mission and the strategy to get there. Please be
Mhm.
fluid in that, and find new ways. Yeah. And if I might add to that one thing, and that's something I read in the Passionate Leadership, it's more, to what extent do you understand what what the other person makes up? What do they need to feel supported, to be
Mhm.
happy, to take care of them? Can you a little bit extend to focus on yourself to someone else without pleasing, and just do what someone else makes someone else happy? That's sharing happiness in its core.
So, just to summarize, do an act of random kindness, smile, bring a smile on somebody's face, to somebody's face, and try to open up, feel, and offer to others what they need.
Exactly. Exactly. And obviously, don't forget to take care of yourself, because if you're not happy, it's very difficult to share.
That's right. That's number one, actually. We need to start with this one.
Can be parallel. I believe that it can be parallel. Yeah.
Okay, it has been a great conversation. Thank you so much. I wish you to
Thank
keep
you so
on
much.
sharing happiness along the way. It has been a real pleasure to talk to you. And happy traveling in the yellow van.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for having me. It was wonderful, and good luck with the podcast. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. So if you want to get in touch with Niels, then Daas, please feel free to follow him or to connect with him on Facebook. He'll be always there for you. And I will be here for you next Friday. Have a lovely weekend and goodbye.